I've been making segmented blanks and showing you guys bits and pieces of them on my shop update channel. And I've had a couple of people ask me, could you please show us the jigs you're using to make these blanks? What you see before you are the 3 primary jigs that I use to make all of the segmented blanks that you've been seeing me make over the last couple of videos. I'm not going to go into them in great detail here because I just finished filming a video where I talked about each one of these and demonstrate it. And I'm going to be putting that together for next Friday so you guys can watch. It is not a how to build them, although I do talk about just some details, some slight details of how I built them. And I think from what I tell you in the video, you should be able to take that information and probably recreate these pretty easily in your shop. I demonstrate how they work so you can see what they do up close and personal. And hopefully that video will be what you guys need to be able to make your own jigs and begin making segmented blanks in your shop. Real quickly, this is my small stock joining jig. This is the most used jig in my shop. It allows me to square blanks and make them perfectly square with the help of my table saw. This is my bandsaw segmenting sled. It allows me to make repeatable cuts to whatever depth or whatever width I want. And I use this quite a bit in making my twist blanks. And what you've got back here, I got a lot of questions about this one. This is a super simple sled, and I use this for cutting 45-degree blanks. So what I mean is a couple of isosceles triangles. This was a square blank, and I put it into this jig, ran it through the blade of my table saw, and cut it into a triangle. So you'll kind of see a little more in detail on these blanks in that video. I hope it helps. I hope you like it, and if you have more questions after seeing that video, please let me know. Well, I got the old Inker sled down off the wall because I made a couple of wedges for my sled. Take a look at this sled. I use it to cut 3/4 inch segments, or actually 3/8 inch segments. Well, you can cut any size you want. You pretty well set the stop block. I could cut 3/4, ½ inch, 1 inch, whatever. But I made these. I've got a 5 degree, a 10 degree, a 15 degree, and a 20 degree. And I plan to use these. I can lay them on here. I can lay my blank on there, and I should be able to cut segments off my blank at any of these particular angles. The idea is I want to try a new style blank, and I just needed something like this to make it possible. Let's see what I can come up with. I hope this works out. Here's the first of the blanks I'm going to cut. I cut this one at a 10-degree angle, and you can kind of see as you look at it, those cuts are not straight across the blank. I left kind of a cap end on here, and piece number 20 is a little larger piece as well. You can kind of see that for a top and a bottom of the blank. I'm just going to glue that whole thing together. Not sure what I'll do with it. I just checked, and it's too short for the long woods because all of the kerfs that I have between the wood let the blank shrink too much. So it's about a little over 1/4 inch, maybe 3/8 of an inch, too short for a long wood. But we'll find something to put it on. Over here on the saw, I've got another blank squared up, and I'm ready to cut. I'm going to do this one at 15-degree angles just to see how it looks. And I've got my 15-degree block here and my 20-degree block here, and they're taped together because you can barely see a darker spot right there. The 15-degree, I didn't pay attention when I cut it. It had a knot right there. And of course, that piece was kind of hanging loose. So I put some tight bond in there, and I just taped it to this blank so I could hold it nice and square. And I've got a nice tight fit all the way along that line. And that'll give me my straight edge back because that's the fence side right there. And then I'll be able to cut my 15-degree pieces. And I'm going to try to cut this one just enough to fit a Sierra tube. Simply because when I did that one over there, I wasn't paying attention. I was just cutting away, and I cut them all. And it's a little too long, but that's okay. We can work something out. I'm wondering, since it is squared, and you can kind of take a look at it, it's pretty darn square. I might be able to take piece 20 and just move it up to fit wherever I want. We'll take a look at that as we start assembly of the blank. That's going to come later. I got to figure out how I want to handle that because I did not drill a hole down the center of these blanks. I left them whole, so I've got to figure out how I'm going to drill them and attach them back together. It's a learning process, and this is what you got to do. You got to experiment to figure it all out. So hopefully I'll have some good news later today for you guys. Here is my 15-degree cut. The wedge finally dried enough, the glue on the wedge. You can see what I was talking about with the knot. I didn't even pay attention to that when I cut it, but I got some tight bond in there, so it's going to hold up pretty good. There is my blank, and here is one of my tubes. This is a Sierra tube. You can see I need probably one more segment, so I know I need to make 12 total segments when I make these now, which is good to know. But you know, with the Sierra, you have a little bit of play, so I probably will shorten this tube just a tiny bit and make it work. But I'm really happy with how that looks. I mean, that's going to be pretty cool. I just got to figure out how to get it glued up and get the proper twist on it to make a cool looking blank for you guys. So hang tight and we'll see what comes up. I've been fiddling around with those blanks, and while I waited for the glue to dry, I actually went and did some cleaning in my shop. And when I go to the Mid-Ohio Valley Pin Turner Gathering, I got some items that have been around the shop for a while that I'm going to try to sell. So I'll put a video out right before the show. Those of you who are coming to the show, those items will be in the trunk of my car, and I'll be happy to sell them to you if you are interested, because this is really the audience for the kind of junk that I have, right? It's all pin turning related. First glue up's in progress. What I did is I took the first piece and twisted piece number 2, and then I used the last piece because since it's at an angle, it was difficult to clamp, so that let me basically clamp those together. And the rest of them, I just took each piece in order. I put them together, and then I rotated it one segment towards me, and we're just gonna let them dry for about 20 minutes, and then I'll put the 2 segments together, make 4 segments, and after a couple of minutes, we'll have a full blank. So I'll keep you guys posted on what this looks like and how it turns out. Pretty excited to test this one. I need to turn my attention back to these blanks, specifically the top 2 rows. What I'm going to do is take a look at that. The tube is just below the surface. In order to make these a little easier to turn, I'm going to take them to my disc sander, and I'm going to square both ends of the blank and try to make it even on both ends so that when you turn it, you get a nice even blank for your pin. You know, you don't want it to have a nice big, like a big wide piece on this end and a very small piece on this end. So we're going to square those up and get them cleaned up. I apologize about the fan noise, but it's a necessary evil today. I got all of my blanks squared up. Take a look at them. They look amazing. These are lathe ready. All you need to do is slap your bushings in there and turn them. So I'm excited about that. It took a few minutes, but it was worth it. And I don't know, it makes me feel better because what I did is I made sure the complementary blocks of wood on each end were the same thickness. So that looks nice and symmetrical when you turn your pin. Well, I've got a little more work to do because check that out. It looks pretty good up until you put the cap on, and then it looks like it's kind of bent over, so I'm not exactly sure. There's got to be a trick to how you spiral it, and I just got to figure that out. So this is cool. I'm going to let this dry, see if I can do anything to clean it up. I doubt that I can, but, you know, it was worth a try, and we learned a lot, so we'll see what happens with the next blank, which is going to be this one. And I'll see if I can, whoa, got tangled up there. See if I can find a different way to spiral that one. That's it for me. I've had a good day in the shop. It was a short day, you know, but I didn't get out here as early as I would like to have. Maybe tomorrow I'll get a chance to get out here a little bit earlier. I did get a video shot for you guys today that I need to edit on jigs, which will come out next Friday. I'll get this video edited up and shot out to you guys tonight. And anything else that comes up, you guys will be the first to know. Take care, have a great evening, and I will see you again very, very soon.